In this video, I want to share the 6 basic questions that I use to uncover the key information I'm looking for in a regression session. Gerald Kine, Stephen Parkhill, Cal Banyan all showed me just how effective regression to cause hypnotherapy is when you're systematic. So I use these 6 uncovering questions in every session, and here they are. Is it daytime or nighttime? Are you inside or outside? Are you alone or with someone? How young might you be? What's happening? And what are you feeling? Those are the 6 basic questions. So let's just go through them. Okay, so the first question, and they're not necessarily in this order, but often the first 3 are. Is it daytime or nighttime? That's the first session or first question, because if you get an answer to that, daytime or nighttime, they go daytime, you're in. That's it. You know, they're in the event. If you don't get an answer to that, then you can try Randy Shaw's little tweak. So thanks for this one, Randy. Does it feel like it's daytime or nighttime? Sometimes clients are a little bit reticent. They don't trust their perceptions. So that's a little qualifying question, and it works miraculously. So what you're after is their first impression of where their mind has taken them. And sometimes that can be kind of vague at first. So you just want to start with sort of the broad view and then narrow it down. Now, if they're not sure whether it's daytime or nighttime, that's okay. You may just need to associate them into the event a little bit more. Maybe they're not quite there. Or that information may not be available. It may not be relevant. For example, what if they're inside the womb? Well, they may not know if it's daytime or nighttime, especially if it's in the first trimester, but they may know if it's light or dark. So that's another question. If they go, well, I don't know, say, well, does it seem like it's light or dark? See if you get an answer to that, because if you do, again, you're in. Now, if they're still not sure if it's daytime or nighttime, light or dark, no pressure, no worries. Just move to the next question. Does it seem like you're inside or outside? What's your first sense of that? Because what we're doing is we're working with perceptions, and we want to find out what channel they're receiving that information in. So they may not be daytime, nighttime, light, dark, maybe more visual. So you might get more of a sensation if you find out, does it seem like you're inside or outside? Now, some clients expect to step into a 3D event, and most of the time that's not how it happens. You have to connect with the memory. I think of it as kind of dialing it in. And so sometimes these questions will help to do that. They're just dialing into the event. Some clients are afraid of getting it wrong. They've got that kind of performance anxiety going on. They don't trust their first impressions. And this is true in their life as well. So that's not going to change. If you've got them doing a regression session, if they don't trust themselves in daily life, then they're not going to trust their impressions in the session. You got to teach them. So when they don't trust their impressions, they might be trying to think their way through. In this case, I just tell them to pick one. Does it, inside or outside? I don't know. Pick one. Go with your first impression, and usually that will get the process rolling. Does it feel like you're alone or with someone? Sometimes they'll say alone, but that's not necessarily factually what's going on. A person can feel alone when they're with someone. So you can say, does it feel like you're alone or with someone? And they'll say alone, but I'm with someone. Or the information may change a little bit because there is someone there. Sometimes they know right away, inside or outside, and they know right away where they are, and they'll tell you. So are you alone or with someone? I'm with mom. Great. Sometimes they're with someone, but they're not sure who it is. So if they're not sure who they're with, you want to get some clarity about that. And again, there's no pressure here. If they don't know who they're with, well, that may be the truth. Find out if that's the only person that they're with. Are there others there? Sometimes that's going to bring more clarity. I had one client who reported that she was alone. And that she was with someone, but it was a stranger. She didn't know who they were. And I said, well, is this the only person that you're with? Because, it seemed kind of odd that, an infant, I think she was like a year old or something. It seemed kind of odd that she would be alone with a stranger. So I wanted to clarify. And then she said, oh, I'm at a party. My parents are having a party. And from there, bang, the whole scene just unfolded, and we were able to explore, who was there and what was happening that was of significance. If it just happens to be just one person, but they can't identify who that is, then I'm going to ask them, does this person feel familiar or unfamiliar to you? It might be a stranger. Maybe the child doesn't know who they are. They can't tell you what they don't know. So find out whether that person is male or female. Find out how the child feels about that person. Do they feel comfortable or uncomfortable around them? And what does they notice about that person? There can be a lot of details that can unfold just simply by inviting the child to share whatever it happens to be perceiving about that person. So do you see how this is kind of baby stepping into the event? That's really what we're doing. I look at the uncovering process of an event like an Easter egg hunt. You got to look a little here and a look there, and you find one piece at a time, and pretty soon you get the whole picture. And sometimes you can uncover a lot of stuff that might have been swept aside if you hadn't been more systematic about it. So the next question is, how young might you be? Originally, I was taught to just say, how old are you? But I changed that up. I don't ask how old now. I want to help the client to associate into their younger self. So I want to use language that's congruent with that. When I'm doing the count back, I'll say growing younger and younger. So it's just more congruent for me to say, how young might you be? And finally, I'm asking what's happening, in this moment that your mind has brought you, what's happening? What do you become aware of? Once it's clear to me that the client's connected to what's happening, that's when I want to ask this question and just get them to give me a report. Tell me what's happening. Sometimes I might want more detail about something specific that they've revealed. It might be a thought, or it might be a feeling, or it might be some kind of a perception that's coming up. And so if it's a thought, I'll ask them, so what's happening that you think, whatever it is that they're thinking? If it's a feeling that's coming up, then I'll ask, well, what's happening that you're feeling nervous or upset or scared or whatever they happen to be feeling? If it's an observation about something that's happening, well, what's happening that you're noticing that mom's wearing gumboots? Because they're noticing that it's in the event, it's an aspect of the event. So I want to find out what's happening that their attention is on that. We also want to find out what feelings they're feeling. That's probably the most important information, but all of the other aspects that we're uncovering are supporting that. So what feelings are you feeling? That's always the most important information, but we need to know what's making them feel that way. Then we can release those associations and we can disconnect them and start connecting the dots to how those things created the problem that the client came to see us for in the first place. So that's the purpose of the uncovering process, to uncover the who, the what, the when, the where, and the how of that situation or event, how it made them feel, how it made them think. That's what we want to find out. So those are the 6 basic uncovering questions. I use them every time in every session. You don't necessarily have to use them in that order, but I definitely use the first 3 in order. So is it daytime or nighttime? Are you inside or outside? Are you alone or with someone? From there, it's all about just uncovering the details of whatever it's happening and who's involved in that situation and what decisions they're making about that based on their perceptions. So those are your 6 uncovering questions. Remember to post your questions or your comments or your insights on the forum. Be sure to share. You have wisdom that you can share with the group as well. And that's how we're going to grow as a community and grow as a profession, is by helping one another. So be sure to share your input, because it has value. You're here for a reason. I'm here for a reason. Let's work together. Okay, that's it for this time. I'm Wendie signing off. I'll see you soon.